Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this training section. Yesterday, as I say, we don't have much, and the participants, the participation was actually low yesterday. Okay, and I'm going to send a video concerning that, what we did. It's about plugin, how you can install plugin on QGIS. So it's a very simple step. Okay, I'm going to send a short video on that. And then today is actually a very important section because today we're going to look at how we can actually, sorry, trying to accept participants. Okay. All right, so today we're going to look at how we can actually produce map. We have been doing a lot of work, creating shapefile, digitizing, importing points and all that. So today we're going to look at how we are going to generate map, okay? Because the end product of any GIS analysis that you did, the output is going to be map, okay? So today we're going to learn how we can produce map, okay? So without wasting much time, let's see, let me see if I can accept. I see some people joining, okay? So that will not, all right, okay. So I'm going to share my screen now and then we'll go straight to the practical section. Okay, yeah. All right, sorry, trying to accept people to the training. Okay, so now this is QGIS environment, as you can see. Okay, this QGIS environment. Today, as I said, we are going to learn how we can produce a map. We call it Composer, okay? We call it Composer. That is where you can now compose your map. Now, if you look at, if you have stay in any GIS environment where you see some set of people working on GIS, you discover that most of them actually use two screen, okay? Most of them use two screen, and the reason is that there's some time that you need to actually see what you are doing in another screen, and then what you are composing, which is your composer, is going to be in another screen, okay? So that is one of the reasons why participant can now see your applications, okay? Sorry for that. Still, okay, all right. So now, without wasting time, I'll go to add some data to our environment here so that we can produce a map with it. Remember the other day we downloaded the data from the internet, that is Grid 3, where we download a state boundary where I give you assignment that you need to do categorization, labeling, and all that, okay? So we are going to use that particular map to actually produce a map of Nigeria. Okay, so now I'll go to my add, right? Because it's an existing layer, so we are not creating again, okay? But if you want to, let's say, create your own, then you have to create layer and then create new shapefile. Then you can now digitize if you have a polygon. Like Mr. Issa, you are talking about how to digitize those your points. If you remember, creating this under create, you create a new shapefile, and then you create a polygon, right? Create a polygon, select this button to save your polygon that you want to create, and then if you click OK, it will give you a layer that you use for digitization. As I said, watch video, we have videos on that already. But this time around, we want to add a new layer, so I'll click on the layer, and then add vector layer, and then I'll browse to my desktop where I have a GIS folder. I'll click on desktop, and then I have GIS folder, and then under shapefile, it's under download, and then we have Nigeria state boundary. So I'll click the one with SHP. Remember, you have to pick the one that will end with .shp. Then I'll click open, and then I'll come here, I'll click add, and then I close. So I have map of Nigeria showing on my screen. Okay. I gave you assignment that you should do categorization and labeling and all that. So, for example, I can just label. Okay, I can just label it. So how would I do that? This is the layer. I'll double click on the layer. You can change the colors if you want to change it to another different color. Click on this arrow and change it to blue if you want blue. Okay. Or you can do categorization where you see different colors. Categorization. Okay. And then you click on the value that you want to use, which is the state name. Okay. So that you categorize it based on the state name, and then I classify it. So you see that it come up with different colors. So I'll click apply it, and then I click OK. You have your map in different colors. Okay. A lot of people have submitted the assignment on this, so I believe you know how to do this. Okay. So I'll go back there, and then I'll label it. Okay. I'll label it. Now, if you click on label, you see present now is showing no label. That is why nothing is showing. So you click on the arrow here, and then you select single label. Then it will display. Then they're asking you values. What values are you going to use? You know, we have information on the attribute table. Okay, all this information at the attribute table, but we want to label it with the state name. So I'll click apply, and then I click OK. So you see, this is a map of Nigeria with the categorization showing all the local governments, okay, with different colors. Okay, so having done that, we'll now take this particular map now to a composer, okay, so that we can now produce a map. Now, the essence of producing a map is for visualization. Possibly you can send your map to somebody either in PDF or in JPEG, okay, or you can even do a web map, okay, where you can send a link to somebody and they can view your map, okay. So by this time around, we are going to produce a map and possibly export it as JPEG, so that even when you are not having a GIS software, you can actually see what you have done. Okay, so having said that, I'll go to my composer. Where is my composer? If you go to at your top left corner here, we have this button here, show layer manager. Okay, you have this new print layer manager. So I'll click on this show layer manager. Then it will bring us to this layout manager. Okay, this is a layout manager. Now we discover that we have an empty place here. All these things are empty. We have empty layout. Now, if you, let's assume you have been producing a map before, and then you have a certain template of a map that you want to use, you just use this specific, okay? Then you can now select an existing template that you have. But presently now we don't have any template, so we are creating a new empty layer. So I'll click on create, okay? I'll click on create, and then I'll type the name. Let's say I call it map 1. You can use any name, possibly the name of the project that you are working. You can just call it Nigerian map or any name that you want to use. I can just use map 1, then I click OK. Okay, you see there's a new window that opened. I don't know if you are seeing my window, but let's see if I can share that up also. Okay, so you are seeing another window, right? Are you seeing it? Can somebody reply me?
Yes, we are seeing it.
Okay, so now this is another.
Yes, we are seeing it.
Okay, so this is a composer window. So now at this point now, that is why I say that you are supposed to use a 2 screen, possibly a monitor that you drag this, you click up here and then you drag it to another screen, okay? And then you can now use that first screen where we have our map and all that, okay? Do you understand? All right, so we continue. So this is our new Composer Manager where we can now produce our map. So you see an empty map here, right? A template, an empty template. Now, the first thing you need to do is to check what paper size do you want to produce the map. Okay, which paper size do you want to use? You know, let's assume you want to use we have different paper size, A4, A3, A2, A0, A1, you understand? So let's assume you want to use A3, okay? So I'll click on page properties. That is, I right click on an empty space here within this empty environment, and then I click on page property. Okay, then we have size, which is paper size. I'll click on this arrow and then you see different paper size here. So let's assume I select A3. You see that it increased the size of the paper, and then I actually want it landscape. Now, it depends on the kind of shape you have in your map will determine the kind of orientation that you're going to use, either landscape or portrait, okay? If you have a map or a shape that is actually narrow, you understand, at that point is more preferable to use a portrait. But this one, I think is better we use landscape, okay? On your own, you can try, if you can even try portrait for Nigerian map, anyone that is okay by you. As far as that is concerned, is your personal decision. So after that, selecting the paper, okay, and then the orientation, you click on this arrow, this button here. You understand? This is the button, add map. This particular button, add map. If you click on it, then you come to an empty space like this, then you draw a rectangle. Drag as if you are drawing a rectangle, like Mercure, or the way you highlight an object in AutoCAD, like if you are drawing a rectangle. Okay, so after that, you see we have our Nigerian map here. Are you seeing it? Are you seeing it?
Yes, we are seeing it, sir.
This is a Nigerian map. All right. So now we have added our map. Now, if you look at some map, you discover that some maybe if you are generating a map, you discover that you put your map very large like this, and then you can write possibly put your legend, your scale, your everything somewhere here. But there are some people that actually separate the place they put their map from where they are going to write the information or the component of the map or other component of the map. Okay, so now I will do the same. I'll just reduce the place, because if I increase it to this end now, it will cover the whole paper size. So I'll reduce it, okay, so that the map will be here, and then we'll add the information of the map somewhere here. You understand? It look more better and it look more professional, because your write-up will not interfere with the information that is showing on the map, okay? That's one of the advantages of doing that. Okay, but even if you put it here, like if you write all your information, possibly your title of the map and everything here, as far as it did not cover your information of your map, there is no big deal about it. Okay, so I'll drag and reduce it somewhere here. Okay, and then I have that. Now, one thing I want you guys to see now is this. You see, the first one here is palming. Okay, if I click on this palm, if you remember hand, when you are palming, you palm an object. Okay, you palm an object. That is when you have an object, let's say in different location, and then you want to move it. This has to do with zooming. Okay, but based on the fact that you are using if you are using an external mouse, you can roll up and down, like using the roll, okay, the center roll on your mouse to roll to increase. So you don't actually need to use that zoom, but if you want to use, you can just mark it like this and then use it. Then the third one here is select/move item. So now if I move, you see that I'm moving the whole item. Okay, I'm moving the whole item. That is the whole of the line, including this border line, is moving. Okay, you see it, right? You see it, right? So I can do that with this select/move item. But the next one, take note of it because it's very, very important. These two. This is select/move item, and then this is move item content. Okay, now this is the item. Okay, this map that I just add now is the item. But now when you use move item content now, it will just be moving only the map inside. Okay, it will be moving the map inside. So possibly, let's assume your map is somewhere here. Okay, and then your item itself, let's say the item itself now, let's use the item itself. The item itself positioning is okay by you because you want to add other information here, but your map, the item content inside now is up, right? It's supposed to move down somewhere here. So at that point, you use move item content and then you move it. So you see that your item itself is not moving, but the content inside is the one that is moving. Take note of that. So if you want to zoom, let's assume you want to zoom the whole item, then make sure you click on item content first before you zoom so that the whole thing will be big. If the cursor or your click is on item content and then you try to zoom, it will be zoom the map inside. Okay, you see it? It's zooming the map inside. All right. So you have to take note of all this because these are some of the things that confuse people as far as issue of the composer is all about. Just take note of that. On your own, you can actually practice it to get used to it. Okay. So now after that, if I've arranged my map, all right. Now the next thing is to fix our scale, right? Scale like because if you look at it now, we have some space left here. Okay, if I say I should use the zoom stuff, I might not get it right. Or if I use this zoom here now, I might not get it right. Okay, so I'll use my scale now to control it. Presently at this scale, you are seeing by your right corner here, you see we have the scale. So we are having about 4,667,500 and okay, I think it's 4,679,195. Okay, so now that is the present scale because this is we are looking at this is the whole Nigeria map, right? I know this is a real time, it's not that we are zooming, you understand? So and then we are using A3 map, so it's a very small A3 paper, so it's a very small paper. So now I will increase, you know, if you remember, the smaller the scale, the bigger the object, right? So I will come here, I will increase as I'm having 464,700,000 and something now. I can just remove this 40, this 4 item, and then I put 40, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I click, okay, there's no significant change to it. I'll go back again. Let's say I remove this and then I make this thing 0. So now I become, is it 460? Or 4,600,000, okay? So if I click, you see that there's a change. If you look at it, there's a change. So I'll change this 6 also to 0. So you see, there's that significant change, there is a shift. Now the reason why I'm doing it as in changing the number gradually is just I don't want the map to just disappear or the whole scale to just scatter. You understand? Because what we need is just a small increase. Okay, what we need is just a small increase. So that's why I'm just following it gradually. You understand? So presently now, I think this particular scale is okay, because if I increase it now, you see that it's actually at the edge of this place, or I'll use this one to move it so that it shift from the edge small. So I think this is actually okay now as far as this map is concerned. So I'll shift it small to this side. Then I'll click on move item content, the move item itself. Then I'll reduce this so that I have enough space to do. Now, before we continue, we have just set our scale. So this is where you can actually change your scales and all that. So the scale has changed again. So I think I use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that will have a significant value on our scale. All right, so after that, I'll go down. Before we continue, I'll go down and then I'll click on this frame. Now, so that you'll be seeing the line, so that I'll be seeing the end of our maps before we start adding on any other information. Okay, because if you leave it blank, you will not even know where your map ends, and then maybe you start adding title and all that night to affect the whole arrangement of your map. Okay, so after that, now I click on the map. Now the next thing to do is to add the title of our map, right? We have arranged the map now. So we have to add the title of the map. So now if you come down here, if you come down here, this is where we add our map, right? Okay, this is adding pictures. Let's assume you have an external pictures that you want to add. Possibly you have maybe your company logo that you want to add. Okay, let's assume I'll click here now. And then I'll drag, let's assume I want to add my company logo somewhere here. Okay, and then this is SVG image. These are different images that you can add. And then these are different places where you can see different image again. But I'll click on raster image and then I'll browse. Click on browse. Let's say I'll use my company logo, cast structure logo, and then I open. And then we add the logo to it. Okay, let's also want to add the logo to that. Okay, but the first thing we want to do here is about adding pictures. So you can add any picture that you want to add. Okay, all right. So now we have add label, which is the text. Now is this T here. I'll click on it, and then let's say we want to add our title here. That is the map title here. All right. I'll just highlight, like marquee, right? Draw a rectangle to cover where our write-up will be. Now, if you come here, this is where you can type. You cannot type here. So you click here now. And then you remove this and then you type, let's say map. Let's use capital letter. Then I do map of, let me accept. Sorry, I'm trying to accept. Okay, so I'll type map of Nigeria. Map of Nigeria. All right. So now, if you look at it now, I have the right of map of Nigeria here, right? It's showing now, but it's actually very small. Okay. So I'll click on it, the same place, and then you go down. You see here, you see fonts. Okay. You see font color, and you see horizontal margin and vertical margin. So I'll go to font, and then, all right, under the font, click on the font, and then you see we have regular, we have bold, with different font styles here that you can select. Okay, and then this is the font size. So let's assume I pick 20, and then I click OK. Okay, so 20 is actually small. Okay, so I'll click again. I'll go to, and then I'll use, let's say 28. Okay, I think 28 is big, but I can say increase it again. 48, 36, let's say 36. Okay, 36 is big, but it's taking it to 2 lines. Okay, I think this is okay. All right, so map of Nigeria, you can shift it so that it will align with this the other border you have here, so that your map will actually have a good look. All right, so if this is big, you can also reduce it, let's say to 28. Okay, I think this is better, so that it will not be too, the whole place will not be too full. Okay, so this is how you add the title of your map. Okay, is there any question on how to add your title of your map? Okay, even though there's a question, if you watch the video, you can actually understand everything, because it's a very step-by-step process. Okay, so now the next one is adding your legend, your key. Now, before we add the legend, what do you understand by legend itself? Legend is this is the key that actually interprets your map. Okay, for example, if you give me this map now, I might not know what these colors or the line that is here is all about until I look at the key. Possibly I'll see a key, and then it shows that, okay, this red color is Niger State, this one is Kaduna, this is this, you understand? So I'll go to my legend. Okay, then I'll click, and then I drag. Now you see, you have this legend for all the states. Reason because we did a categorization, so it shows all the states with their colors. Okay, this one is Abia, this is Adamawa, this is Akwa Ibom, this is that, this is that. Okay, now there's something I want us to do. Now instead of it like this, I'll go back to my I want to share. Okay, I'll come back to my QGIS here, and then I'll change this color from this categorization to a single, symbol, and then I'll select one color so that we can just have one legend. Okay, so I'll have it now. So now I'll go back to, I've changed the color here. So I'll go back to that other screen. So this is the screen now. How will you refresh? How will you get back those information that will change? You just click on refresh here. You see refresh, you click on refresh. So you see the information have changed, right? So now if I add my legend now, I'll add legend. You see, the legend become one. It's showing only one color now with Nigerian map. So we can just say, maybe you can just write for this our legend now, we can just rename it as maybe state boundaries. Nigeria state boundaries or any other names that I'm going to use. But instead of that, the categorization is much. You understand? To make your whole map to be just be, except if it is required that your map need to be categorized, then you need to display the legend like that. Okay. All right. So that comes to the end of our first 40 minutes. We have few minutes to the end of the 40 minutes. So is there any question?